Elder Scrolls 6 has finally been announced. The announcement we've all been waiting for about 5 E3s. Maybe an exaggeration. I know what you were thinking when you saw it last night. I know what every single person watching this, right? The first thought that entered their minds, oh my god, youtube.com/YetiHype is going to be having a field day. He's going to be so excited. To be honest, I'm not excited yet. This isn't coming out for a long time, and we need to remember that. Back in 2016, Pete Hines said it himself that we've got two big AAA projects that are going to be released before Elder Scrolls 6 is even released, and he was like, you do the maths yourself on how long this is going to take. And they've announced these. We know we've got Rage 2 coming out. We know we've now got Starfield coming out. They finally announced this. We also know that they've put out this, or they're going to be putting out this other new mobile Elder Scrolls RPG, which is obviously, I don't want to call it filler, but it's kind of filler. We've also got Fallout 76 as well, which we're going to be talking about more in other videos. We've got Fallout 76, Rage 2, Starfield, all these coming out in the meantime. Elder Scrolls 6 isn't going to be with us for a while. We know what Bethesda are like for surprising us with releases. Oh, we like they did with Fallout 4. Oh, actually, hey, look at this. This is coming out in 5 months. And everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy. I'm so excited. We never know. But I don't think even that announcement will happen till 2020. I think at best, early 2020, in my opinion, that's just where I estimate considering the things that we've got coming up soon. But what I did want to talk about, the question that's been burning so heavily on my mind, if you've been following the channel for a little while, you know this is the case because we've made plenty of video on it. Where is it going to be set? Now, funnily enough, one of the places that a lot of people are speculating the most, based on the short trailer we've seen, is Hammerfell, which is, funnily enough, the one place I haven't actually done in my series yet. I think I'm still going to do it because I may as well. We don't know that much yet. I may as well, but we'll see how the rest of E3 goes. But I'm probably still going to do my video talking about Hammerfell. Where do I think it could be? Well, I think, in my opinion, there are three options based on this tiny little snippet we've seen so far, which, if anyone asks me, I'm pretty sure they just stole the intros off my Elder Scrolls 6 location discussion series and turned it into a trailer, but that's fine. In my opinion, what we're seeing here is going to be High Rock, Hammerfell, or potentially Somerset Isles. I don't think this is Elsewhere. A lot of people are talking about Elsewhere, but too much of Elsewhere doesn't look like this. And the same reasoning with Argonia/Black Marsh, although I don't think as many people think it's going to be that. But I've seen a lot of people talking about Elsewhere because of the whole thing, and fair enough, because the whole thing with what they do with Elder Scrolls, they go from one place to another place. Every time there's a new game coming out, they've gone to a different place. Fair enough, and I know that Elsewhere is probably the last major place that we haven't been to yet. Obviously, we have been to Hammerfell before. But I don't think, based on what we've seen, it's going to be that. And the reason being is, and I know it's only been 30 seconds, but if they're going to do one single shot for the announcement trailer that people have been waiting for years, if they're going to do one single shot to show the fact that the new Elder Scrolls game is coming, if they were going to set it somewhere like Elsewhere, I don't think they'd do the shot in a location that looks nothing like 98% of Elsewhere. If you want to know more about any of the places, I'm going to leave a link in the description to my playlist with all the location discussions in it, and there'll be a Hammerfell video soon. Elsewhere is mostly desert, and then there's a lot of sort of dense jungle. There's not many sort of barren, high mountains. Similar to Black Marsh, I just don't think it's similar enough to the shot we've had. I also do not think it will be Valenwood. Again, just because I don't think, if they were going to do Valenwood, I don't think that's the shot they'd go for. I could be wrong though, I could be wrong. So if you have played Daggerfall, High Rock was the setting for Daggerfall, but that was a long time ago. If you look at Daggerfall compared to the graphics of what it's like now, I think and just the capabilities of what you'd be able to explore and what you'd be able to do within the world and how the world would be presented to us, I think it's been long enough to say that, you know, they're not going to be like, oh, we can't go to Hammerfell because we've done it already, because let's be real, there'd be quite a big difference. I think it'd be interesting to do High Rock. And this is only supposed to be a quick video just because we've had a 30-second trailer. Like, I'm not going to go jizzing everywhere just yet. And that's why I'm not going too deep into the analysis, because at the same time it's hard to be like, oh, well, people are like, oh, it could be Skyrim because it could be set in a different time. And that's the thing, there were 200 years between Oblivion and Skyrim in the world of Elder Scrolls. So when people are talking about, oh, well, based on everything that's just happened in Skyrim, it could be interesting to set it here because of the politics and stuff, but it could be set at a completely different time, so we honestly just don't know. But looking at it, that looks like it could be High Rock. High Rock is an awesome place. There's plenty to explore. There's plenty going on there. You've got all the orcs and the Bretons living there. So you've got like this awesome like mix of like the magic from the Breton side and then the warrior side of the orcs. And you can bring all these new elements into it. I think it would just be a great place. I don't want to go into it too much because I want to talk about some other places. If you want to know more about any of these locations, like I said, there's a link in the description to my playlist where I talk about every single one in detail, shall I say, except Hammerfell, but we'll get to, and I'll talk about it right now quickly. Hammerfell, probably the place I know the least about since I've not finished my video on it yet, so I've not done all my research, but I feel like it's maybe kind of similar to Elsewhere in terms of the fact that it's a lot of desert, and I feel like that's a weird shot for them to show, but to my knowledge Hammerfell is more, and feel free to correct me in the comments, Hammerfell is a lot more barren desert, whereas Elsewhere is a lot more sort of dense, duney desert, if that makes sense. The Red Guard live in Hammerfell, they take home there, and that could be interesting to deal with. We had a bit of a run-in in Skyrim with the Red Guard, with the Alakir warriors, if anyone remembers. I can't remember the name of the quest, but I'll put it on screen. A couple of them show up in Whiterun, and they're looking for this woman, and then the woman's like hiding, she's working in this pub in Whiterun, and then you have to take sides about who to go with. If you haven't done the mission, I suggest checking it out, and I don't want to spoil it, but you have to, she tries to convince you that she's been you know, wrongfully accused of what she's done. She's a good person. She tries to get you to jump to her side, and they try and convince you that she's committed crimes and needs taken back to Hammerfell to be prosecuted. So it's this whole thing. We've had a bit of a run-in with him, but that was one side quest in Skyrim, and it was awesome. In my opinion, that was one of the best side quests in Skyrim. So I think Hammerfell will be cool because we get to explore this whole new, not race, because obviously we've had the Red Guard in the games before, but we get to explore the Alakir in a way that we never had before, and that could be interesting. And the third biggest option that most people have been suggesting is the Somerset Isles. Again, from what we've seen way too little to be able to say anything definitive here, and these are just my thoughts on it. But its potential, they have talked in the lead up to this, and by the lead up I mean, I know about 2 years ago they shut everything down and just stopped talking about it since. Before that, they spoke about new stuff, they spoke about the scope of the thing they wanted to do. Somerset Isles is huge and completely different to what they've done before. Again, I know I keep doing this, but obviously I'm going to, because more, you know, if there's a chance any of you are going to click through to one of my other videos, obviously I'm going to take that chance to get a bit of self-promotion in there. But my Somerset Isles talks in depth about the variety of environments within Somerset Isles and everything that's going on there. It would open up a chance for so many new creatures, so many new, even like flora and fauna, like all these like animals and plants and stuff that it'll open it up to. Tons of new environments that we haven't even really seen in an Elder Scrolls game before, which is great to take advantage of the new potential technology that they have. Obviously we don't know what sort of engine they're going to be making the game in, but even since the last major Elder Scrolls release being Skyrim, it's still going to be a little bit further advanced, depending on what they use obviously, but it could be incredible. It could just be a really good place to set, and they have been messing around with it in Elder Scrolls Online. I know it's a different development team, but they've dabbled in it. They released the Somerset Isles, what do you call it, DLC, expansion pass, whatever they're called for that, and people seem to enjoy it. I don't play online, I've not got around to playing it yet, and to be honest, I keep saying that, I've been saying that for about 3 years, oh, I've just not got around to it yet, so I probably never will, because I know me. But they did Somerset Isles, and I believe it was relatively well received, so could be a bit of a tester, so to speak. But with that being said, if I had to guess now, based on the 36-second trailer that we've seen, or however long it was, I'd probably say High Rock. Hammerfell's a possibility. Somerset Isles, I don't think it's going to be Somerset Isles, but I could see why people think that, and it's one of the biggest ones that's being spoke about, and that's why I put it as number 3. As if this was like a countdown list, that's why I put it in the number 3 spot. My money's on High Rock, and I would, to be honest, I'd love to see Hammerfell. I would love to see Somerset Isles. I've seen a few people suggest Akavir, but we'll see. For now though, this video has already gone on way too long. Let me know where you think it's going to be by leaving a comment below. If you want to check out any of my videos discussing any of these locations much more in depth than I have done today, talking about the geography, the history, the people, the creatures, and the quest potential, and all sorts of other things, then my playlist will be linked in the description. I put a lot of effort into all those sorts of videos. And guys, I'm excited to be bringing you a ton more news. Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield. You know what? Rage 2. Let's make some Rage 2 videos. Maybe not as many though, because I never finished Rage 1. I'm gonna do it though, just because I know Rage 2 is coming out, and just because I want to bring you guys the hottest Bethesda content. Because once upon a time we used to do that. What happened to the old YetiHype? Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, a like would be appreciated. Check out my Patreon in the description to support the channel, and subscribe for more news on these sorts of Bethesda games, and probably some other stuff as we move forward. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.